That is a happy dog face. Actually, that's happy. And that's a happy dog face. He's been, playing fetch. Here's little Lola. Alright guys, Bethany Wilson here with my adorable little crew who's not paying any attention because we're surrounded by dogs. Can I kiss? She got in the mud puddle earlier, so picking her up was a bad idea. Oh my goodness. Happy, lay down. Good girl. Okie dokie. So, Bethany Wilson with Ruff Start Rehab, Dog Training and Rescue. And a little unorthodox today. My assistant, Mr. Nostalgic, Chris Davison. The reason I say nostalgic is because we are headed to New York literally this evening.
Wait, what? What did she say about me? Oh, she does this. I'm not there to defend myself. I'm sure she's got some smart aleck comments. What did she say? Huh?
We could not get together to film this. We just couldn't do it. So we threw something together for you. Hopefully it's a little fun. Hopefully it's not too annoying.
Okay, this is going to be a little awkward, seeing as how I'm not there, and Bethany could be saying whatever she wants to say.
He'll probably think I said something bad about him, but I say nostalgic Chris Davison because we're going to New York City for a short film. It's in a festival there, and that's where we met. So we're gonna get to hit some of our old stomping grounds and have some serious fun, and we're gonna take you guys along for a little bit of the journey. By some of your, answering some of your Q&A questions in New York City. So something new and fun and different. Okay. So this is number 11. We are already at number 11. Really cool. You guys keep asking the questions and we'll be happy to answer them. This is so much fun for us. Really makes us feel like we're doing something good, and I get to just be closer to people in my little Facebook community and YouTube community, and I love that. I really do, guys. So keep asking away if you like, if you care about what I'm saying. All right, so we're gonna dive right into this. Question number 1.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the first question. Here is from Karen N. I'm not sure what the N stands for, but that's what's written here. Karen N. Hello, Karen. Karen says, "Hi, Bethany. I'm hoping you..." Oh, hold on. Something just popped up on my phone. Oh, something just popped up on my phone again. Okay, let's try that again. "Hi, Bethany. I hope you could offer some advice about car anxiety for my 7-month-old golden retriever Jax, who is not the biggest fan of riding in the car. The first day we brought him home, he vomited in the car the entire 1-hour journey. And anytime we got in the car, no matter how short or long the trip was, the vet suggested giving him Benadryl, which helps him calm down, and the vomiting has lessened. But you can tell he's very uneasy, and it can be difficult just getting him into the car to begin with. We travel a lot due to the fact that most of our friends and families live out of state, so we take long trips, 2 to 3 hours, about once a month. We're lucky in the fact that we can bring him with us everywhere we go. But the car ride is very stressful for all of us. We had this issue with our last golden, and he got better over time, but we truly never addressed it, and he was always visibly stressed out in the car, and we always felt terrible about that. I like to be able to get Jax to relax." Hey, that rhymed. She wrote that, I didn't say that, but it did rhyme. So good job, Karen. And maybe even enjoy going for a car ride. As always, any help is greatly appreciated. So let's see what Bethany has to say. What amazing and genius information do you have to give to Karen? I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, okay. So, hang on. I gotta check on Happy. See if I can see her. Maybe I can. Where is she? Where is she? There she is. We got so many dogs around, and Happy likes to. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place. Happy likes to bomb drop dogs. She never did that until Dusty came around. And so what Dusty does is he waits till Happy's not paying attention or sleeping or snoozing, and then he comes out of nowhere and nudges her with his nose or pulls the hair on her tail. And so now she'll go at the park. I guess she's like, oh, has all this resentment, which dogs don't feel resentment. But maybe she has all this resentment because she'll sometimes, if a dog is being all nice and sweet, she'll just run up and start barking and run away. So I have to keep an eye on her. Happy, lay down. So you guys can see. Aren't they cute? Okay. All right, so I understand Karen, right? Yeah. It just so happens, Karen, that Dusty has the same issue, and I've come across, I was actually excited when I saw that your dog is a puppy. And I've talked to 3 different vets about this, okay? Because, like specifically, because Dusty, our 5-year-old, we think he's about 5, border collie, has an issue with this. We went up to Big Bear, which is a couple hours outside of Los Angeles, and yeah, puked the whole way up. It was awful. and I'm the same way with you. Our dogs go everywhere with us, right? So I talked to 3 different vets, 1 back home in Illinois and 2 out here in Los Angeles. And they all said pretty much the same thing, Benadryl. But I did get a few tidbits from different ones. My vet in Illinois, my old vet, he told me that for puppies, it's actually pretty common for puppies to get car sick. And as they get older, they'll be able to handle the movement better. Not just because he gets used to it, that's not even it. It's just something about the way their inner ear and everything develops. So there's a little bit for you, a little bit of hope. I'm happy to see that it's a puppy. So maybe a lot of that will just go away as he gets older. And then I was like, I told my vet back home, I'm like, Jim, my dog is 4, maybe 5 years old. So what else you got? You know, is there any hope for us? And he kind of went, no. But between him and all the other vets, they all said the same thing about the Benadryl and no food that day. Well, that makes it really hard if you travel all the time with your dog. Luckily, Dusty has gotten really used to trips that are 20 minutes or under. And if it's windy, like in LA, it's a lot of windiness, we take it really slow. Like just not choppy, you know, as smooth as possible and as slow as possible. Where literally if we go to Runyon Canyon, which is kind of up in the Hollywood Hills, I will pull over to one of the little side areas where people take photos, just so I can go super slow with him that 10 minutes, you know, up the mountain. And that's made a huge difference. So I noticed you said that you take trips, I think you said once a month. So once a month isn't bad, right? So you could definitely do not feed him that morning. And honestly, I mean, if you're coming back that same day, don't feed him that night either. Just do the drive up and the drive down. He'll be okay. Dogs can go a few days without eating with no issues. I mean, he'll be hungry. He might, you know, look at you all pitifully. But yeah, definitely no people food. Oh God, can you imagine, you know, the throw up there? So no people food, but don't feed him that morning. And if you come back the same day, don't feed him that night. And then if you're doing a day over, if you're doing like a layover for one day, just again feed him in that evening, but that's it. And don't feed him the next morning. And try to feed him kind of early in the evening, like a 4 or 5 p.m. rather than late, like 7, 8 in the evening. So wait for this plane to go by. Okay, so some other tips that has worked nicely for us is cracking windows. Cracking windows breaks the air pressure, just like with people. It also helps with dogs. Something that Dusty had already figured this out on his own, and then it was interesting when a couple of the vets told me about this as well, which was just simply to encourage them to face forward, to sit, not stand preferably, but sit and face forward. So in between the 2 seats, or if he likes to like put his head kind of near the window on the side of one of the chairs. So just facing forward. Definitely discourage, you know, looking out the side windows or looking out of the back. So that'll help keep him focused. Happy, lay down. I'm surrounded by doggies again. Oh, it's a cute little one. Look at him go. Got lots of action out here at the park on a Sunday. Okay, so let's see what else. So the facing forward, and then gosh, at the end of the day, my vet in Illinois, and we haven't had to do this yet, so I don't have any personal experience with this, but I've told other people to do this who just have anxious dogs, so maybe it could work for the puking as well. If he's crate trained, and I know he's a bigger dog, but put a crate in the vehicle, but you can't just crate him, because then he'll definitely have to look out the side window or something, but cover the crate with a really dark sheet or a dark blanket so there's no shadows, no nothing, and he's just stuck with dealing with the movement, okay? One more thing. This helped with a Shih Tzu puppy that was getting sick in the car. Turns out that puppy did kind of grow out of it, thank God. But in the meantime, they had kids, and every time they would go somewhere, it was kind of a big event. If you've ever been around kids, or if you have kids, you can understand. It's a big event when all the kids have to get in the car and go somewhere. So what was happening was the puppy was already getting really, really worked up, and then it would puke right away. So what they started doing was, of course, they cut out the food, and it's a little Shih Tzu, so they can't really make it face forward. They would buckle her in her little harness, but what they started doing was just she would get really anxious and nervous, excited. So they started off using the crate, and then when they weaned her off of the crate, she was still puking. So they would literally, I don't know if you've ever seen my Threshold video with prong collar. Excuse me, but you can kind of check it out if you don't understand the concept I'm about to explain. So you walk up to the car, open the door, dog gets a little nervous or unsure or excited and wants to jump in. No, you don't let them, you make them sit, and then you turn with the car door open, and then you turn around and make a loop again. And you have them sit and wait. Turn around, make a loop again. So you do this like 10 times till the dog is bored to death, much more settled, much more calm, and then he calmly jumps in, or you put him in. If he's a puppy, he might just fall over. Then you calmly put him in. So it just settles the brain down before you even get started. So again, I wish I had something brilliant for you, but hopefully I've given you something that maybe you haven't tried yet that could aid in helping you out. And I wouldn't even know that issue worked with that Shih Tzu if they hadn't told me. They did the crate for a while, but they were really tired of using the crate because they already have 3 kids, so there's not room for a little crate. So they got tired of using the crate, and they really wanted to figure out a way to get her, to be better without it. And so I just suggested that, and because I knew the family and I knew how excited, it's two girls and a boy, all between the age of like 5 and 10, so a lot of excitement getting in the car, and I just thought maybe that was part of it, all the excitement and getting worked up. So cut out the food and do that patterning. I don't know, I hope that helps, Karen, but I feel your pain because we don't take really long road trips a lot. We're getting ready to. We don't take really long ones a lot, maybe once every couple months. So all I know is that all the stuff that I've mentioned has helped with Dusty on the shorter trips. I guess I'll let you know how it goes on the long trip to Illinois, but good luck. And if you happen to find something that works brilliantly other than him just hopefully growing out of it, let me know. All right, next question.
Good answer, Bethany. I'm not there. I have no idea what you just said, but good answer. And that was probably very long-winded, I'm guessing, right? Okay. Anyway, moving on. Next question is from Daddy-O J. What's up, Daddy-O? I make myself laugh. That's what matters, right? I just got through watching your video on the Ecollar. In all actuality, it is the best one I've seen. And I've seen quite a few. If I was there right now, I would pat Bethany on the back. Good job, Bethany. My question then, I know you use these for dogs you're working with, challenging dogs, but would you use it for everyday training for their pets, even though they may be more compliant? Thanks. No, thank you, Daddy-O. And on to Bethany for the answer.
Oh, the Ecollar question. I love this question. It's so good. Thank you so much for watching my videos and loving them. That makes me really happy, especially because I've actually got all the footage to put out all of the Ecollar videos for the how-to like that. but it's so time consuming, but I really am trying. It's just we're taking these big trips, and so now none of it's going to get done till June, so I apologize for that. But anyway, in regards to your question, absolutely. My dog Dusty, the only real behavioral issue he had was the squirrel issue, which is an ongoing battle. But yeah, I absolutely, because the thing about e-collars is you can whisper to a dog, or you can shout if it's for an issue, like a specific behavioral issue, but otherwise you just whisper. So then it becomes like a leash, and I hate leashes. Like, I hope all of you understand, I hate them, because you have to do corrections whether you like it or not. If you want to see a difference and not carry around treats for the rest of your life and keep your dog hungry so it pays attention, you've got to do corrections. And I just hate the physicality of it, especially now working with horses and dogs and animals for so long. I'm in my 30s, my fingers have already had it. My elbows, working with shelter dogs, my elbows and shoulders, they're already, according to my chiropractor, he's already starting to see the wear and tear from it. So I really like to cut out as much physicality as possible. Plus, it's such a cleaner, non-emotional way to interact with your dog. Dog come, tap. Really low level, where they're just like, oh, Dad, where are you? Oh, there you are, go. You can definitely use it at that motivational level, where it's just the most beautiful hands-free device. To where I'm literally able to have my dogs off leash. A brand new dog that comes to me, we just start doing long line training at the end of 2 weeks, and then if I was the type of facility to keep dogs for a full month, they would be totally off leash at the end of that month, even if they had behavioral issues most of the time. I mean, that's incredible. So my point is that it's an incredible tool for anything. It's like, imagine people coming in the door, or something where they usually get excited, and all you have to do is not even correct, but just be a tiny bit higher, and just, no, dog, come. You don't have to grab, you don't have to touch, you don't have to grab a leash. I mean, it's just all so less emotional, less physical, more clean and clear for the dog. And through that training, you get so much freedom. So many people, it's not just you, I love this question because it's so normal, is that so many people think e-collar is a last resort. It's for dogs with behavioral issues, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Sporting dog people, for hunting, for Schutz hunt, stuff like that, sporting dog people have been teaching e-collars for motivational uses for decades. Okay, so the short answer is no. You can absolutely use it just for a normal dog that you just want to have more freedom with, and then of course the long answer is what I just gave you. But it's a really common question, run into it a lot. I run into it so much that when someone calls me and just says, man, I'm really struggling teaching basic obedience, I'm interested in this e-collar training, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, what behavioral issues are there? Does it go after dogs, people? Does it run out into the street? Is it mouthy? Is the dog mouthy? And they're just like, not really. I just want everything to be easier, and just to be able to have more freedom quicker, and be able to trust my dog. And I'll be like, okay. Because that literally happens to me, oh my gosh, once or twice a year. Okay. So part of what I'm doing, I get more notoriety when I show the hard cases, right? Because that's what gets people to watch. But because that just comes with the territory. But absolutely, if you just want to start with it, you'll be way ahead of the curve. Because then when little things do pop up, and they will pop up, you'll have already done all the training, and it'll be so easy to handle, and it won't ever get out of control before you address it, because you've already done all of your basics. So pretty incredible question. Love that question. Really good question. And I hope that answers it. It should. All right, next, Rosie.
That sounded great. That was great, Bethany. That was great. That was fantastic. Fantastic. Moving on. The next question is from Rosie A. Rosie A wrote, own, rough start, rehab, dog trainings, rescue, and timeline. This is probably not what I'm supposed to be reading, but this is what's on the letter, so I'm just reading. Rosie says, okay guys, I need help. Well, guess what, Rosie? That's what we're here for. Actually, I'm here to just read the questions. Bethany is going to probably help you. The question is, my pets are all on flea meds to control them. However, other than pesticides, I need advice on flea control in the backyard. What can I use in the yard that will kill, massacre, and destroy, you get my point, pesky fleas?
Oh, Rosie, you asked about the backyards and the pesticides. Okay, so I see my dog in, like, right there. Happy, come here. Come on. Come on. Sorry. Side note, this is what happens. This is what happens. Yeah. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. And Lola, no, stop pulling. She's chewing on grass. Okay. And then Dusty wants me to throw the ball. I should switch it around. He's like, please, throw a ball. Okay, so the pesticides question. You know, I really can't answer this. I really can't. Not a huge fan of pesticides. However, I have lived in a state where it was so bad that there was... Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and throw the ball a few times. I've lived in a state where it was so bad that you really feel like you have no other choice but to use the pesticides. And if that's the case, you have to keep the dogs out of the yard for whatever safe period of time and go in there heavy duty for the fleas. As far as yard control. Now, if you have a dog that has an issue with eating grass or chewing on plants, then I would find another route. I would find another organic, all natural, blah blah blah. I would find another route that way. I am definitely the last person to ask on this, but I didn't want to just ignore you. So I would say there's this really great thing called Google. But I understand why you asked me. You thought, hey, you know, she might know. I do not know, I'm afraid. However, I will say that when I lived in Illinois, with the heartworms and the major flea issue with the dogs running through the fields, you know, I didn't use like Advantage or Frontline or any of those main brands. I actually went to the vet. Oh crap, what's the name of it? I'll try to find a link on Google and put like a photo up right here. Try something, but it has to be given through a vet, and it's in a pill form, and it's just stronger. But also, I found that it doesn't bother my dog's noses as much, so I also like it better. I'll even use it out here. This one is super sensitive to the smells. It's a long story, but it's really bad. She can't handle anything, cheap or expensive, it doesn't matter. So she has to be on the pills, and then Dusty can handle the spot-on stuff. But if we lived in Illinois, I would definitely put him on the pills because it's so much stronger. Just to give you an idea, the whatever pill, it's like heartworm, flea, ticks, everything. We're literally, the vet told me a story of they found this little Jack Russell Terrier that came in covered with fleas. I mean, just like the whole body. Gave it to him, 24 hours, all the fleas just fall off dead. Disgusting, I know. But as far as the dog issue itself, that's what I would suggest. As far as the yard issue, I'm afraid I can't offer up much support, and I really apologize for that. But that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna lie. Next question is from Daddy-O J again. What's up, Daddy-O? Daddy-O says, I've been watching your videos for a while now, and rarely, if ever, do I see you playing with your dogs. They are usually in a place position or in training. Do they have the run of the house and when not in place, or are they always there or in their crates? Also, I've not seen too many toys for them, nor any chew toys for the puppies. Do they fit into your philosophy of raising your dogs? Thanks for the help. Daddy-O, I could answer this question for you. But guess what? I'm not going to. Bethany's going to do that. Oh yeah, okay. So the reason that's what you normally see is just because I'm a trainer. That's what I do. that's most of the videos that I post. But and also, you know, the dogs that I work with, they have intense behavioral issues, people aggression, mostly dog aggression. So my dogs have to be, I won't say they're bulletproof because they're not, but they have to be almost like bulletproof. So my place and my downstays and the control that has to happen in my house, I have to hold my dogs to a much higher level of standard than normal homes. And I'm not saying that to be like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying I have to do that for safety reasons because of the dogs that I bring into my home, right? So I do a lot of tethering even still with them because it's just so important. But with that being said, what happens is my dogs get set amounts of time aside to play. Like right now we're at the park and they're playing. Happy just barked her head off and chased some poor little chihuahua that was more than happy to be barked at, and he ran around and barked at her too, and it was great fun. And then Dusty loves to play ball, and he loves to play with other dogs, so occasionally he'll find a dog out here to play with. They also play with each other. Happy and Dusty have their own funny, you know, small, you know, younger brother dynamic going on where he tortures her and she acts like she doesn't like it, but sorry about the noise, but she really does. And they'll play tug of war too, and then we'll play a little bit of fetch inside, but not much because I don't like a lot of that done indoors. But if I have to, if weather is bad or something like that, we'll play indoors. So yeah, absolutely, it's just I have to find a lot of balance, and it's definitely a time set aside for that specifically. But yeah, and you inspired me. I'm glad you asked me this question because you reminded me that I need to show more fun videos, not just place and down and stay and don't eat people and don't eat other dogs and perfect on a leash. So it was a good reminder for me to post some more fun stuff. So thank you for that, Daddy-O.
Daddy-O, I hope that was a very helpful answer from Bethany. I'm not there, so I'm sure it was very long-winded. Next question is from Kristen Cochran. Kristen says, the videos are very helpful, thank you. I thought you always had to walk dogs on the left, though. I'm not sure why that is. Can you explain why on the right or left? Is there a reason? Ooh, if Bethany doesn't actually cut off my answer, I want to put this and she can elaborate on it. But back in the old Wild West, Wild Western days, you know, the gunslingers had their guns on their right hand, right? And also ranch hands. Majority of people were right-handed, so they would have their guns on their right hip. So they would keep their hands free on the right. So they would always walk the dog on the left. Actually, let's see if I'm right or not. I don't know. I've heard that before, and I could be making it up. Let's see what Bethany says.
This is a fun question. Actually got this one from a YouTuber, so please, YouTuber, go check out my Facebook page. That way you can ask me questions directly on there. You can private message me or find a photo that says most recent photo that says dog training questions here. All right, Dusty, I will throw the ball. See, she chases. Get him, Happy. Get him. Get him. Hopefully you guys even saw that. Yeah, okay, so historically, dogs, whenever in the Old West, you know, and they carried guns or they rode horses and had guns on the horse, they always put the dog on the left because the gun would go on the right because most people are right-handed. Historically, as far as I understand it, there might be more to it, but as far as I understand it, that's where that comes from. With puppies, because the video you're referring to is the puppy video, puppies, I don't really care. They can go both ways until you get a groove and figure out what works best for you. Some people feel their timing with their hand is better on their right, so they like the dogs on the right. But I grew up in the show world, and in the show world, it's always the left side, whether you're doing basic obedience or the big fancy, you know, showmanship in the ring, the conformation, you know, like what you see at the Thanksgiving, you know, Westminster. They're always on the left. That's just been standard. Same with police dogs. You know, the policemen, the gun's on the right because most of them are right-handed, and the dog's on the left. Actually, I'm not sure about left-handed policemen. I guess it's switched, but I actually don't know. I'm gonna have to ask. I've got some policemen in my family. I'll have to ask. But anyway, that's where that comes from. And whenever you're training, not a puppy, but once you hit like 5, 6 months, 7 months, it is best to stick with one side just while you're training, and then you have to be nuts about it, but just for some structure. If the dog is struggling, the more structure you add, the better, and you can always teach them both sides later. But honestly, it's like once you choose a side, stick to that side. So if on Tuesday you go out and dog's on the right, stick with the right. Unless you want to switch, don't let the dog switch. And then on Wednesday, if you want to do the left, stick with the left. So it's just about that consistency if you want to do both sides. I like doing both sides because I like, walking with many dogs and being able to change him up. But I initially taught Dusty on the left, so now he struggles on the right sometimes. So I didn't mix it up enough with him. But as far as the structure goes, whatever day you choose for that walk, stick to that side. Don't let them switch midway through unless it's for a behavioral issue, like if you see a dog or a human and they're nervous, and that's why you're having the dog switch sides. But my point is, it's much different. It's much different if the dog makes the decision to switch versus the human says, hey, go over here. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the history behind that. As far as I know, I also doing Ecollar training. The handhelds, the transmitters, tend to be geared towards people to hold it on the right, which is good because people have better timing with their people have better timing with their right hand. So just to kind of give you an idea, the main one that I use, I'm actually thinking about switching to the Pro, but the main one that I use, it's actually designed to be held this way and spun easily, and then I can look at it and see what level it's on. So it's made for the right, and then the dog is on the left, because I definitely have better hand-eye coordination with my right hand because I'm right-handed, and then the dog on the left. All right, so I know lots of stuff, more than you probably ever wanted to know, but there it is.
All right, guys, last question is from Elster. Elster says, "Hi, after I watched your videos, I have been struggle of my 11-week-old Dachs. He has the puppy impulse control problem. He just all of a sudden started from last week. It is getting worse. I tried out your method today, and he seems to get it. Then after I took him outside in the yard to work on a leash with him, which is not working for me. So we went back inside the house and work on impulse control again. This time it's not working at all, biting and growling. Any advice that you can help me, please?"
Thank you for your question. So really typical question. You probably just moved too quickly with him, expected too much out of him too soon. I'm gonna throw the ball for Dusty, hang on. Oh. I would definitely, you want a hungry dog, okay? So you want to work when he's hungry. Cut his food down if you need to get him hungry, get more focused, get him willing to work. You probably also need better management. So not as much free time, more crate time. A puppy that age should be sleeping 18 hours a day, or he's going to be grouchy and pushy and ornery, just like a baby is grouchy when they're tired. So 18 hours of sleeping a day, sometimes more. Some puppies will sleep. Sorry, you gotta get the chuck it. See? Some puppies will sleep 20 hours a day at 11 weeks old. So I would definitely take that into consideration. I like the policy of, unless you're working with that puppy, walking the puppy, playing fetch, doing something with the puppy, it's in its crate sleeping. So that way you prevent a lot of those bad behaviors. Because yeah, for the next many weeks, you're gonna have food. When the puppy's out, you're gonna have food on you. That's really normal. There's nothing weird about that. That's really normal. That's how they learn. It's how you get focus. Definitely when the puppy's old enough to start taking it out for walks, that'll really benefit you. Find ways to give the puppy lots of exercise in the meantime, like come, sit, break. I've actually got a whole puppy training series. The third one still isn't out yet, but it will be 1 through 3. But at least the first one shows you the come, sit, break that you can do in the yard or in the house. Lots of exercise, lots of repetition in one period of time. That's how they learn. let's see, what else? Yeah, just hang in there. I mean, the biting really is normal, but if you feel like you're aggravating him, in the second new video that I did, you're probably talking about a video with the Boston Terrier. A new video that I did also shows you briefly how to use the pet corrector, which is just a squirt of air that you get on Amazon. It's a red can pet corrector. So watch that. It's in the second video, the new one that I just posted out. It's on my puppy playlist section, so go check that out. I know the videos are long, but you can just scroll through, you know, till you see something that you think is what I'm talking about. And that's about it. So much of it is management, honestly, and I know it's a pain in the butt. Puppies are not for everybody. They're so tough. It's like a toddler running around. They put everything in their mouth. They're mobile, except they have sharp teeth because they're a dog, and they're running around without a diaper on. It's a pain in the butt, I know. So much of it is management. Because think about a kid who's just learned to walk is never left alone really unsupervised, or it's getting into something or bothering you or pulling pans down off of something. So with a puppy, they just antagonize you because you're their whole world, right? So what do you do with a kid? They're always in a playpen, in a crate. I about said crate. Crib. Kids go in cribs. But you emulate that same thing with the dog, with the puppy. So keep at it, hang in there. Definitely spend maybe 3 to 5 days hardcore working on that stuff inside, then try it outside. Maybe your puppy was just overwhelmed by the extra space and more running around. Start using the leash right away too, because that'll be huge for you to start implementing the leash. So start teaching leash pressure and stuff like that, which I think I have a video on that too. At least walking the puppy, it kind of shows a little bit of the leash pressure thing. So take a peek at that and start emulating that in the house, and go ahead and start teaching leash pressure. All right, I hope that helps. Guys, so exciting. We're gonna be in New York, gonna be answering questions this week from New York, as well as from the road trip to Illinois and Europe. So keep on asking your questions. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this. It means a lot. And I have no doubt that Chris's quote of the day is amazing. So listen, learn, take everything with a grain of salt, take what you want from it, but definitely appreciate you guys even caring a tiny bit about this.
All right, guys, it is that time of the day. Quote, amazing, inspirational quote of the day. My quote of the day comes from H. Jackson Brown Jr. And the quote is, when you can't change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails. Now think about that. When you can't change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails. So if you're trying something, and this goes with anything in life, your job, your career, your goals, your dreams, whatever it is, you're asking out a girl, a guy, or whatever, you got this whole thing of like, oh, I gotta make her fall in love with me, I gotta make him fall in love with me, whatever it is. If it's not working, then try something else. The same, what's the Urban Dictionary definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, different result. So don't be insane. Keep trying. Don't give up. But if something doesn't work, make it work. Find out what you have to do to make it work. That's what life is all about. Life is about change, about give and take and figuring things out. Don't give up, because then you have to start over. So if something doesn't work, look at it as a learning experience. You're learning from it. You're learning what not to do. So now you go on and try something else to see if it works. And if that doesn't work, guess what? You just learned something else. You're not wasting time. You're learning as you're trying things. You are, you know, doing something. You're not just sitting around on your ass. Sorry, I shouldn't probably say that, but you're not sitting around waiting for something to happen for you. You're actually progressively trying to figure out answers and do the right thing. So, you know, if say, for example, when I met Bethany, I was horrible with asking out girls anything. I was so super shy. So I actually made her, let's see what she says in response to this. My thing with girls wasn't working out exactly the way I wanted, and I really wanted her to like me, so I didn't want to come off really pushy, so I kind of slyly got her to ask me out. Yeah, I'm that good. Really, really. But no, seriously, guys. If something's not working, keep, if you have a goal and you're not, there's a roadblock, well then make a detour, go around that roadblock, figure something out. Just don't give up.
That was awesome. Way to go, babe.